soon. So we'll go ahead and talk about the areas that are going to be under this tornado warning just towards the east. Aaron, if you would bring this full screen for me, I'm just going to go ahead and point out some of the areas that may be in the warning along this box. And I think it's going to be a warning that's somewhat includes Watson and then a large section of the northern side of Desha County. Dumas, listen to me. I think this is passing just towards your south, so I don't think this is going to be impact you. But another area of circulation is developing pretty quickly, and so this is going to be moving rapidly northeast, and that's going to be Stevenson Road. That's the next main thoroughfare there along or in between rather highways 277 and highways 138. So there's the tornado warning. It's a rather large tornado warning. Actually includes the southern section of Arkansas County. And it looks like they're just going to include the two circulations, one that's south of Dumas near Winchester, and the other that's just towards the southwest of Tillard. Both of those moving northeast, both capable of producing tornadoes, and we're going to track both of them. I do think right now, though, the northern one is a little bit stronger. So we're going to be tracking this storm until it gets towards the Mississippi River. Northern Desha County, tornado threat is there. I think the high wind threat is there as well. And maybe even if you're along the river in southern Arkansas County, go ahead and get to your tornado safe place as well. Eventually going to cross over Arkansas Highway 1. And then here within the next 30 to 40 minutes, probably going to cross over the Mississippi River.
Yeah, James, I already got a map out of that new tornado warning storm over towards areas of Omega. Just moved through those locations, but if you live anywhere near Watson or just north of Watson where that rotation would be tracking, again, it's just right over or just near the Omega area. That's 718. It's if we just put a scale on this like the last one, it's moving pretty quickly, 50, 55 miles per hour. So don't wait until it's at your front door. Just already get in your tornado safe spot if you're already under the tornado warning. You're watching that one rotation right here towards Omega and then the other one just north of McGee. So areas just east or northeast of McGee towards along State Highway 1. Again, have to get in your tornado safe spot. I also put a track on this one as well. It might be a little further past that, but if you know anybody living towards the MacArthur area, that's 711. So the next 8 minutes, that area of rotation, that potential tornado could be near or right over y'all. And quickly, like James said, moving over towards the Mississippi River. So these two areas of rotation, very broad at this moment, not evident like we potentially saw earlier in Drew County of maybe a tornado on the ground. These are two very broad areas of rotation, with the northernmost one with maybe even more one to consider just southeast of Dumas. Again, Dumas, you're under the tornado warning, but this cell would likely, this area of rotation, move just north and east of you. Watson is the area of concern with that along State Highway 70 or 277. Some closer locations, Back Gate, get in your tornado safe spot. Anyone along Stevens Road, another area that you need to get in your tornado safe spot. Areas off towards the east, towards Mozart, Watson, another location. Again, broad rotation with this, but you've seen the last couple scans. It was a little more impressive there when it was near the Winchester area. Same with the one that was just east of Monticello in Drew County. These are starting to move out of Drew County, just about all the way just northwest of McGee and along areas of Highway 165. Very broad rotation. We'll circle the areas for you that we're watching, the concerned areas. Again, just north of McGee, and then the other one is just off towards the northeast of Winchester. And again, these are both racing off pretty quickly, around maybe 50 to 55 miles per hour. So these two areas of rotation right here, just north of McGee, the other one northeast of Winchester, moving off towards the east. So watching areas of Watson and areas around State Highway 1 there, just off towards the north and east of McGee. So get in your tornado safe spot, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Stay away from windows. I know how us Arkansans already like to go outside and take pictures. Try not to do that. Again, just try to get in your tornado safe spot and just wait for this to clear out, or when you can get the all clear for maybe the warning expiring or us giving you the all clear. So I haven't seen any reports of any damage. I know, James, you mentioned you didn't see any power outages coming out of Drew County, which is some good news. If there was a tornado, hopefully it just touched down in some foresty area, picked up some trees, and then that's it. That's what we can hope for the best out of this situation with these two potential areas of rotation. Still waiting for another scan in, but still not seeing anything too strong out there with both of these cells at the moment. But that doesn't mean it can't tighten up in just seconds or just minutes. So again, just get in your tornado safe spot. This will begin to cross over the Mississippi here pretty shortly. James, I'm not sure if you've seen any other reports, maybe from social media, but if you have any reports, definitely do so. Send to us on social media. Tag us if you are hearing anything or seeing anything from both ends. James?
I think another thing to keep an eye on is the threat for high winds along this line, whether it's a tornado or not. This line moving rapidly northeast is eventually going to be a straight line wind producer, whether it happens now or on the other side of the river. So this is going to include the majority of Deshay County. May just sneak to the north of Arkansas City, but if you're in Arkansas City and you happen to be watching us, go ahead and go inside, get away from windows, be in your tornado safe spot as this moves towards north. Probably a lot of lightning being produced like this. Austin also mentioned Dumas. A lot of viewers from Dumas, if you're in that area, you got the tornado warning alert on your phone because you're technically included, but the area of rotation is off towards your south and southeast, and we are not expecting any impacts to the city of Dumas. So this continues to race quickly off towards the northeast, and right now it's the only tornado warned storm in southeast Arkansas. In fact, the only counties we're going to be concerned about here over the next little bit are going to be Ashley, the far southeast portion of Drew County and Chico County, and then what we're watching right now in Deshay County. Now, I do have to mention a severe thunderstorm warning was just issued really for Lake Village, and this is a tiny little cell, but it's possibly producing large hail there on the southeast side of town, and this is going to be very close to the Mississippi River Bridge. I do think there's a good shot that that's a storm that's producing a lot of lightning as well. The other tornado warned storm was down in Louisiana, and it's going to miss the state of Arkansas entirely. But I did have a few warnings over towards the West Memphis area earlier, but the main show right now is down in Deshay County with the storm it does have a couple of areas of broad rotation. Thankfully, not as strong as they were earlier, but still, I think we could see some weak tornadoes produced from this as they move off towards the northeast. Watson, you're in line for this. Those of you along Highway number 1, Arkansas Highway number 1, wherever you are, if you're northwest of Watson, along Watson to the south of Watson, or further south into central Deshay County, you need to be in your tornado safe spot, and that does include Rower there, Kelso as well, and up towards, just towards, I'd say everybody east of Backgate needs to be in a tornado safe spot. Austin, I'd say it's a pretty good sign that these areas of rotation are so very broad. These are very wide areas. You know, the storm earlier in Deshay County had a very compact circulation, which is why we really felt like there was probably a tornado on the ground. These are very wide areas of rotation. It does mean at some point they could re-strengthen, but I think maybe right now, if we're not seeing a weak tornado, we're probably just seeing high winds.
Yeah, and I will say for the severe thunderstorm that's in Chico County, just outside of Lake Village, there has been some notes of maybe some broad rotation, but it's just moving over the lake area and the big bend turn there at the highway towards Red Leaf. So maybe a little bit of broad rotation there, moving over the lake. But other than that, it's going to quickly race over the Mississippi River here. These storms, like I've mentioned a couple times, I mean, they're racing at 50, 55 miles per hour. So they're not moving through very slowly. I mean, they're moving in pretty quickly in these locations. And like James said, this is severe warned, so gusty winds. That was the main threat today, was the high wind threat. But we knew the possibility, especially for southeast Arkansas, there would be that possibility of a spin-up tornado, which we might have seen one in Drew County. But right now, just still tracking this severe thunderstorm, areas just east of Lake Village. Just southeast. I mean, you can see it's quickly racing now. It's practically in Mississippi right there on the river there. So Lake Village is in the clear for this storm, but still tracking some heavier rainfall with the line behind that. But hopefully the severe threat is done for the Chico County area and Lake Village. Still eyes turning towards those two areas of rotation, one near McGee and the other one just northeast of Winchester. If we can go back to velocity, showing you that. Still, I mean, some very, very broad rotation with that, and maybe just even some stronger winds up to 50, 55 miles per hour could be moving over areas of State Highway 1. That area of rotation could be right over the Watson area, but it's very broad. So right here is our area of concern, moving over areas of Watson, quickly off towards the north and east. So Watson, getting your tornado safe spot, but still, Dumas, you're in the tornado warning, but you're in the clear, as well as likely Winchester, anyway around State Highway 277 as well. McGee, you're also in the clear with this tornado warned storm. Two areas of rotation are quickly racing off towards the north and east away from your area. Arkansas City also another location in the clear. So, I mean, activity has been ramping up here in the last hour or so, or less than that. You can see there's also a handful of severe warnings and tornado warnings down towards areas of Louisiana, and we've seen a handful towards Memphis today. But these two storms or at least one storm is our main concern right now towards areas of Highway 165 and State Highway 1 in between Watson and McGee. So again, tornado warning continues for a little bit longer, but we'll continue. Actually, the National Weather Service said one storm is set to expire shortly, and then the other ones, they're going to cancel it. So that's some good news there, James, that they might just go ahead and expire these or even cancel these tornado warnings.
Yeah, they're starting to not look as impressive. That's certainly a good sign. I looked at the Entergy Arkansas power outage map, and there is one power outage, like one person, one customer southeast of Monticello. We have no way of knowing if that was a tornado, a lightning strike, a wind gust, a tree branch. We have no way of knowing that. But it does look like there's no power outages from Dumas down to McGee. So perhaps these circulations that moved across US 65 remained aloft. Remember, this radar, as it hits these storms in southeast Arkansas, we're looking between 8,000 and 12,000 feet. So you can have rotation up there and nothing at the ground, though occasionally in this part of the state, we know you guys do get tornadoes, and sometimes even when we see weak rotation, we can have tornadoes down to the ground. But these areas of rotation, very broad, and it looks like, Austin, they went ahead and they canceled this tornado warning. And I think the one back towards the west, even though it still shows up on our system, I think that one's gone as well.
Yeah, that's some good news right now. And I mean, these are the only storms we're really tracking that have that severe potential. I mean, there's an area, James, I don't know if you're seeing it as well, maybe just south of Monticello with some broader rotation in Drew County, really over the same locations that we saw earlier. But National Weather Service not really talking about it right now, but that doesn't mean that something can't quickly turn severe and maybe possibly tornado warnings. But the storms that we were just talking about towards McGee, Dumas, just around Winchester, those not currently severe, at least at the moment, and they're quickly racing off towards the east. Still, here's a broader scope of areas of southeast Arkansas. We're watching a couple of these cells near areas of South Drew County, just south of Monticello. There's that one. There's the one that's leaving the Dumas area, the one that just left Lake Village, and then watching one towards areas southwest of Longview. That one would move further into Ashley County, so just outside of our main area, but still tracking a couple of those cells. I don't know if you're also seeing that, James, on that one storm just south of Monticello there.
Yeah, we're going to watch that one. We're also going to watch the storm that's in the eastern section of Union County. It's got to move towards the northeast, maybe crossing southern Drew or the northern part of Ashley County. So Chico County, as always, will be the last place in the state to deal with severe weather, and we'll be watching these storms as they move towards the northeast. I do think a lot of this is going to get worse as it goes into Mississippi. So hopefully it holds off just a little bit longer, but we've had at least 1 to 2 areas of rotation to track this afternoon. A lot of this has been is kind of on the low side. I think we've done pretty well today with what we felt like was a pretty widespread severe weather risk for southeast Arkansas. We haven't had that many severe weather warnings, and we've only had a couple of tornado warnings, and most of these have been in southeast Drew County and into the western and central sections of Deshay County. But right now, the tornado warnings have expired. Austin, you went over the threat for a little bit of light snow earlier in North Arkansas tonight. The bigger threat obviously comes up as we go towards Tuesday with wintry weather. But you're going to have much more on that at 10 o'clock. Until then, Austin Burks, James Bryant, we will be here watching the radar until we're clear of the severe threat. For now, I'll send you back to regular programming.
Tonight, the United States plays Canada. Next year, the Olympics. Ladies and gentlemen,